Hello, everyone. Can you please let me know in the chat section if I am clearly audible and my screen is visible? Then we are going to quickly start off with the session. Okay, I've got a few comments. We just want to wait a couple of more minutes to for more people to join in. Then we'll begin off with the session. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Okay, so how many of you are here who have already given this slot 2 examination for today, or maybe yesterday, or maybe in the slot 1? How many of you are here with all the experience of TCS this year? Hello, hello everyone. All right, so I think it's time that we should begin with the session. All right, so the prerequisites that we need to let you know before we start off with this particular session is that TCS has increased the difficulty level of its examination. Starting from the foundation till the advanced section, the questions are quite difficult. Especially the questions yesterday were highly difficult, for today they are moderately difficult, but we won't say that it's it would get easy the upcoming days. We cannot say that, but definitely it is going to be difficult, maybe moderately or maybe high, but you are going to come across difficult questions. All right, so it's really important that you buckle yourself up and you start preparing rigorously if you want to get selected in this particular examination. All right, let's move forward. Again, another very quick information that if you want to get more updates on your job, on the job drive that are being announced by the companies, make sure that you are following our Instagram account, especially Prep Insight 2023, because since 2023 is going to be the target of placements. So it's important that you follow that particular page if you are from 2023, and it's going to help you to get all the updates of all the drives that are going to come in this particular season. All right, and also if you want to enroll yourself in the WhatsApp groups to get basic updates, to get regular updates, the link of all the social media handles will be in the description. So you can get all the links over there and then get started and connect with us. All right, things are said, things are done. Let's begin with the questions now. So the first question over here is of error identification. Now, let me tell you the topic or the sections that TCS has chosen to bring out questions from are definitely error identification. As you can see, you also have a lot of idiom-based questions. You have a lot of one-word substitution questions and passage-based questions as well. So TCS has definitely upped its game this time. All right, so let's begin with this question. I want the answers in the comment section, so make sure that you are interacting and you're giving the answers along with me. All right, I have known him for about 3 years, but met his mother only since last night. I want the answer over here in the comment section, so make sure that you are answering along with me. Okay, I have known him for about 3 years, but met his mother only since last night. Now, what is the error? What do you think can be the error in this particular question? Right, when you are starting off with I have known over here, the tense used over here is obviously present perfect, right? It's present perfect over here. And then when we are moving towards the second half of the question, they say that his mother met him only since last night. Now, whenever you are using the term only and you are using the term since is going to talk about a particular point of time in the past, right? Point of time in the past. So since the person has met the partner's mother in the last night only, so it's not a long time ago. So we cannot say since last night, but we can definitely say only last night, right? Because since last night means a point of an action which started in the past and is still continuing in the present, but the mother met the partner and was done meeting the partner last night, right? It's not even continuing right now. So the answer should be only since last night, because either like we only have to use the term only or the modifier only instead of the conjunction since over here. All right. I have known him for about 3 years, but met his mother only last night. So that should be the correct statement without the preposition since. Let's move forward. So a lot of you have answered B over here. So congratulations that you are correct. But if anyone has answered otherwise, I hope your explanations are clear and your doubt is clear right now. Okay, let's move forward. So this is again one type of question which TCS is loving to ask. That it has underlined a few parts of the questions, a few phrases of the question, and then you will have to substitute one of the incorrect statement or incorrect phrase with the correct one. All right. He made tall claims of his wrestling skills, but as soon as he see his strong opponent, then he ran away in fear. Now, this is a little tricky question, so I want the answers in the comment section. Only after that I'm going to explain. I'm going to wait for 10 to 15 seconds for you to take in the question and understand the construction over here. So please take your time and let me know once you are giving me the answers. He made tall claims of his wrestling skills, but as soon as he see his strong opponent, then he ran away in fear. Okay, so answers are pouring in. All right. Okay, let's understand the structure. So this particular structure sentence is using the conjunction as soon as, but there is a rule when you use as soon as. The first rule is that the verb that you are using should be in the past tense. All right. And the second rule is that when you are moving towards the second clause of the sentence, you don't use than in it. All right. You don't use the conjunction than in it. All right. So since we are using a present form of verb over here and we are using the conjunction than over here, the rule that says over here is instead of as soon as, we should use no sooner did, because with no sooner did, the first rule is that we use V1 and the second rule is that we use than. So he made tall claims. Tall claim means big claims. All right. Tall claims means big claims. He made tall claims of his wrestling skills, but no sooner did he see his strong opponent than he ran away in fear. So no sooner over here should be the correct answer and not by fear. By fear, in fear is completely that means he was afraid, so he ran away. High claiming, incorrect, because tall claims is completely correct, and that he is again incorrect. All right, so no sooner is an answer, that is option B. Now, if you want the slot-based questions, Prep Insta has created a slot-based analysis for 2023 for you. From here, you can get all of the questions from the first slot of day 1 till the last slot of the last day. All right, so we are going to continuously update this particular sheet, the link of which can be found in the comment section by your moderators, also in the description box as well. So please get your link from these two places, and you can come onto this page and prepare for your placement if your TCS exam is not already over. All right. It is going to be updated since we are stuck on with the questions over here. So it will be soon updated. Please don't worry. Refresh after every 10 to 15 minutes and you are going to get solutions along with questions updated. All right. Let's move forward. Okay. So the next question over here talks about a fill in the blank, or let's say a passage completion kind of a question with number of blanks over here. All right. So let's quickly go through it. The Chipko movement started in the early 1970s in Garhwal with growing resentment towards rapid dash. Now, let me tell you one thing, one trick that we follow in Prep Insta Prime. If you're not already a member of Prep Insta Prime, I'd like to let you know, but if you are already a member, you would already know this particular trick is that elimination trick. All right. And along with elimination, contextual based answers trick. Now, what is that? Once you are reading the beginning or the initial lines of a particular paragraph, you instantly get the clue as to what the answer should be. All right. So let's quickly read it. The Chipko movement started in the early 1970s in Garhwal with growing resentment towards rapid dash. Now, over here, as we see that the Chipko movement is being announced, and if you have the knowledge of history, the Chipko movement was introduced to save the trees, to save the forest, to save plantations, right? That is the reason the Chipko movement was announced. So what do you think it would be a growing resentment mean? Resentment over here means growing anger. So what do you think would be the growing anger against? Against deforestation, all right? It's towards deforestation and not plantations, reforestation or agriculture. But the Chipko movement was against deforestation, right? So instantly, as soon as you look into this particular question, you can say that option D over here can be the correct answer, because deforestation is the answer that talks about the Chipko movement and it being a resentment for the people. All right. So let's look at the remaining options over here. Reclaimed, inspired, formulation. All right. So let's look at the second blank. The landmark event in this struggle took place on 26 March 1974 when a group of peasants women in Veni village, Uttarakhand, acted to prevent the cutting of trees and dash their traditional forest rights. So reclaimed. Reclaimed means to get back your rights, right? So obviously we can see that the first two blanks are being filled by this particular option. So directly we are not going to waste any more time and mark option D as the correct answer. All right. So this is how you are going to attempt a lengthier question. You are going to quickly move towards elimination technique and the contextual based answers. And that is going to help you answer each of the questions in like no more than 30 to 40 seconds, which you shouldn't waste on. All right. Moving towards the next question. Select the most appropriate idiom to fill in the blanks. Like I told you, TCS is falling in love with idioms and phrases. It is putting in a number of questions. I would say majority of questions from the idiom and phrases criteria. Now, it's not just giving the meaning of the idioms and phrases, but understanding the context and filling the blanks with it or completing a passage with it, right? So let's begin. Dash, my father used to eat sweets every day and no one could believe that he would stop eating them. To everyone's surprise, he went dash when the doctors told him that he has diabetes. All right. Come rain or shine, down for the count. Come rain or shine, as right as rain. Now, between these two idioms, what do you think should be the idiom that should come in the first blank? For that, we should understand the meaning of the idioms. So, come rain or shine, it means no matter what happens, no matter the weather, no matter what happens. All right. And as right as rain means healthy, right? And perfectly fine. So this is the meaning of as right as rain. So what do you think should suit over here? I think both, because no matter what happens, the father was eating sweet or the father was healthy and was eating sweets. But the second blank is going to be a decisive blank. Now, to everyone's surprise, he went dash when the doctors told him that he has diabetes. Now, here is the answer remaining. So down for the count means when you are, not in a good shape, when you are very, I would say not very preferable, not in a good sense of mind, that is down for the count. And then we have cold turkey means completely ignoring something. So we can say that cold turkey should be the one in the second blank, right? That he went cold turkey when the doctors told him. But what about the first blank? So here, since we're talking about his diabetes, we're talking about his health over here, we are going to talk about the health over here as well. So as right as rain, my father used to eat sweets every day and no one could believe that he would stop eating them. To everyone's surprise, he went cold turkey when the doctors told him that he has diabetes. All right. So according to me, I would say that option D would be the correct answer over here. As right as rain, my father used to eat sweets because he was healthy then. But later on, he got to know that he has diabetes and so he is giving up on the sweets. All right. So option D over here, according to me, could be the correct answer. Okay, let's move forward. Quickly letting you know that if you are already a Prime subscriber, it's a yay for you. It's a cherry on the cake that you already have your placement preparations in place. But if you are not, we are running on huge discounts on Preparista Prime, and this is the best time that you can get your placement preparation material in place for you. So these are the prices. You can see whatever duration suits you, and you can take up a subscription. And if your slot is not already over, this is the best time that you can prepare with the tips and tricks and shortcuts that we have mentioned in Preparista Prime. All right, let's move forward. So here we have a question that talks about sentence arrangement. So we have S1 and S4 given over here, and S2 and S3 is missing. All right, so we have to find a question, a pair which says S2 and S3 correctly. Let's look into it. For decades, Western culture has been reluctant to assign an inherent value or a purpose to art, even as it continues to hold art in high esteem. So here we're talking about the duration in which the Western culture is reluctant to assign an inherent value. That means it's not willing to assign a value to art, but art definitely holds a high esteem in the country, right? And lastly, it says, in what way might art be good for us? All right. So we are going to first talk about this decade. Once we have talked about the purpose of art and what art holds high value and esteem, we are going to move towards a sentence that talks about art as something valuable. And that is sentence P over here. Though we no longer seem comfortable saying so, our reverence for art must be founded on a timeless premise that art is good for us. So we are giving a value to art. We're talking about how good art is for us, right? So option P comes next. Now, moving towards elimination technique next. Since A and B do not have P in the first place, we are going to eliminate both of the options remaining, C and D. So we have Q and S in the second blank. So let's talk about Q. If we don't believe this, then our commitment in money, time, and study makes little sense. Or when Sebastian Ezero created dollar signs. Now, the reference to dollar sign over here is very irrelevant. We don't have to talk about dollar signs over here. So S is going to go out of context, and we take Q next. So P, Q becomes the pair, right? So we have S1, we have P, Q, and then S4. So PQ becomes the pair. That means option C over here becomes the correct answer. See, the easiest trick is understanding the context, elimination technique, and then ending up with the answer. Okay, let's move on towards the next question. Select the most appropriate meaning of the underlying idiom in the following sentence. So again, an idiom-based question over here. Flogging a dead horse. Finding an amicable situation to the long-standing dispute was nothing but flogging a dead horse. All right. So what do you understand by the term flogging a dead horse? That means when you're flogging someone, that means when you are trying to get someone to work, and if you're flogging a dead horse, it's going to be useless. It's going to be wasteful. So directly, once you are understanding the meaning of the idiom, you can say that the answer is A over here. Clearly, waste energy on an impossible task. All right, option A over here becomes the correct answer. The easiest way to answer any question is to know its meaning, is to know elimination, and is to know the context. Moving forward, so if you want to understand how easy, like why I am being able to solve these questions so easily, and you are being able to solve the questions so easily, is because we are applying techniques and tips and tricks over here, which you can learn from the verbal section, which we have completely curated only for you. The verbal section over here is right before you. So if you want to prepare not just for verbal, but for any other section, for TCS or any other drive, you can do it from Preparista Prime. If you are already a member, it's cherry on the cake. But if you're not, we're running on huge discounts, so you can look for the course. All right. Let's move forward. Again, another idiom-based question. Like I told you, idioms are ruling the game right now. 4 idioms are given below. Choose their sequence that would fill in the blank and complete the text given here. The Patels sat sipping tea quietly, no one wanting to bring up dash about Gina's expulsion from the college. So there is a situation, there is a context where people are sitting together, but they are trying to ignore a particular topic. They're trying to ignore a particular topic of discussion. So what do you think that idiom should take? It is the elephant in the room. The meaning of the idiom, the elephant in the room, is trying to avoid a topic or avoid a scenario. So when you're trying to avoid a particular topic or a scenario, that means you are not trying to address the elephant in the room. All right. So you see the first blank that it should take is 2. Now instantly we move towards the elimination technique. Again, it's over here. So since none of the options have number 2 in the first blank, we take option C as the correct answer over here. Let's quickly replace all of the options in the blanks. Geenal, I'm sorry, it's going to be Geenal. Geenal himself had faint memories of the incident as he was dash at that time. So we have 1 over here, the elephant's trunk. The elephant's trunk, that this trunk is rhyming with drunk, and that is why when a person is drunk, he is being given the idiom of the elephant's trunk. That means, why did Geenal not remember anything? Because he himself was drunk. So he himself was the elephant's trunk. Moving next, to ease the tension, his mother started the topic of Alibag mansion, which now is becoming a white elephant. White elephant means a rare thing or a unique thing. And finally, seeing red means becoming angry. So that is how we are going to complete the entire question. 2, 1, 4, 3 becomes the actual sequence. Let's move forward. Again, letting you know, if you are not connected with us on social media handles, make sure that you are connected with us on Instagram. And if you want to enroll in the WhatsApp groups as well, the links are in the description below. All right, let's move forward. Fill in the blank with appropriate. The idea of pluralism is entrenched in the Indian Constitution. The value is dashed in many of its provisions and parts. So again, we have a fill in the blank over here. We are not going to give a lot of time to it. So the idea of pluralism is entrenched in the Indian Constitution. The value is dashed in many of its provisions and parts. So when you are talking about the Constitution, do you say that the value of something is spoken in the Constitution, uttered in the Constitution, or expressed in the Constitution? No. What do we say? It is stated in the Constitution, or it is written in the Constitution, right? Since we cannot use either of these terms for this particular blank, we see that blank 1 should take A. Again, moving towards the elimination technique, we see that A, B, and C over here cannot be the answers because neither of them have option A in the first blank, which option D has. So option D over here becomes the correct answer. Ultimately, this is the best way that you can solve any verbal question, right? Elimination technique and understanding the context. I'm telling you this again and again because this is the best way to answer. Like, understand that. Okay, let's quickly go towards the second blank. It's B. That means setting. So, however, the changed setting of political discourse, that means the changed scenario of political discourse and narrative has put it on the black burner. A monolithic cultural account has been arranged to catch people immigration. Arranged over here means it has been allotted to catch people's immigration in order to what? In order to win. So D over here. Okay, it's going to be D over here. All right, it's not C, it's going to be D over here. In order to win the objections. All right. So completely A, B, C, and D, this becomes the proper sequence, and option D over here becomes the correct answer. Okay, let's move forward. So we have a reading comprehension over here, and let me tell you, reading TCS has gone crazy with reading comprehension because it's giving huge comprehensions with very complicated questions. But if you give yourself some time to read the comprehension properly and you are reading the question, you will kind of get the idea clear. All right, so let's look into the question first. As per the information provided in the passage, what may be deduced as the most correct option with respect to Montefiore? So we are going to talk about Montefiore over here. Let's see. The first option says Montefiore could not be easily invaded as it was situated on top of a hill. Second says was owned by masters who were forever healthy. Was a small house which only looked big from far away. And the owners of this mansion had been continuously making several architectural renovations. Now, Let's look into the passage over here. Now, Montefiore was larger than a farmer's villa, but not as imposing as a castle, too far away from anywhere important to serve as a castle. A country house with crown and upthrust shoulder. On all sides of the steepness of the slope was a deterrent invader, and anyway, Montefiore wasn't large enough to interest Pompidou, who led their small armies over here. All right, next, Montefiore was fierce, attention emissaries of the world, but the boats upon whom the house itself remained as familiar and unregarded as her own fingernail. All right, so here we can say that option A, Montefiore could not be easily invaded. Why it could not be easily invaded? Because it was on all sides of the steepness. It was in a place where it had its own boundaries. All right, if you see over here in the second blank, I have to look for it. Just give me a moment. Okay. Yeah. See, inconsistent architectural details that many owners had lived here before her family arrived, shaping the place with disregard, symmetry, or loveliness. All right. So we can say that definitely there were more architectural renovations, but it did not look royal because it was a small place. So it did not look royal. It was a small house which looked big from far away, therefore no invaders approached it with arrows. Montefiore was owned by masters who were forever healthy. No, there were masters who were not healthy and they were continuously giving instant changes to the house. So we are going to use option C over here. Sorry, it's not option A, but C. Montefiore was a small house which only looked big from far away distance and therefore no invaders approached it with their arrows. All right, so option C over here becomes the correct answer. Let's move forward. Like any child, she looked out and across rather than in. Which of the following options is the best proof of this statement? Bianca was familiar with the old chapel next to her house and loved to watch. Bianca was familiar with the panoramic view. Bianca was more interested to see captivated dragons inside the house, or Bianca was familiar with the recently constructed interior courtyard. Once you look over here, you see, like any child, she looked out and across rather than in. She was more familiar with the vistas, the promising valleys with their hidden hamlets, the scope of the future arranged in terms of hills and light. So this means that Bianca was familiar with the panoramic view of the outside and also the valleys with the immediate villages. All right. So we can say that option B over here should be the correct answer because it says that Bianca had a good view of the entire panoramic view of the house, and that is the reason why she was not looking outside but inside. All right, so option B over here becomes the correct answer. All right, so we have come towards the end of, just give me a moment. Okay, there's some glitch in this particular slide, so please pardon me that, but yes, we have come towards the end of the entire session. So if you want to look into the prime subscription prices, they are here right before you, and let me tell you that the prices are not very high right now. They have been slashed down. So if you want to get your hands on prime subscription, you can do it right away because the prices are not very high. As you can see, I would ask you to go from 12 to 48 months because it gives you added benefits of certifications as well. All right. And lastly, again, if you're not connected with us on our social media handles, make sure that you are connected. You get all the updates of your particular drives and you enroll in the WhatsApp groups as well. Discord and Telegram, all the links will be in the description box below, and the links will also be given to you in the comment section. Along with that, if you want to get your hands on on the PDF which we're talking about, what you can do is you can come over here on this particular page. Just give me a moment. My screen is, I think, it's not quite visible. All right. So if you want the PDF, the link is given in the description as well, along with in the comment section as well. So if you want, you can go there, check the PDF as well, and prepare for your placement. All right. So that's it for this session. I am going to wrap up this session. All right. So thank you so much. Happy preparations. All the best for those who does not have your slots yet and are going to have your examinations. So yes, all the best, and stay here because you are going to have the next session for logical very soon. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.